So if you remember in the earlier video, we have discussed the same question. 50 men work together to complete the work in 100 days. How many days will it take for 1 man to complete, 10 men to complete? We did it a slightly longer approach earlier. I'll talk about a shortcut here. So it's simply, you'll apply this 50 men into 100 days is what they worked, should be equal to 1 man into number of days, right? Number of people into number of days, that should be same. That is the concept that you should apply for this, right? So 50 into 100 people worked, so that should be equal to 1 person working for n days. So that will be 5000 is the number of days the person should work, right? Similarly, 50 men worked for 100 days to complete the work, should be equal to 10 men working for n number of days, that will be 500 days, right? That's what this will translate to. So to just put it as a formula, I'll put it in this way. Most of the books I have seen are things that I look at, they don't talk about that in this way, but I'll strongly ask you to think in this way. Don't think, if you see this one, right, the one which we have just solved, this will turn out to be something like this. M is number of people, M1 into D is number of days. So M1 into D1 is M2 into D2 is what you'll see as a formula for this. This looks fine in this case, I'm not denying it, but this will fail in certain questions. That's why I'll ask you to understand the formula in this way. This is still the same formula, actually much better and much robust in a way. So thing to understand is this: total work, that's for one case, by number of people is M1 into number of days they're working into number of hours per day. Sometimes I will add this. In the earlier question, it was not mentioned. So that's why we are not taking it as a different thing. We're taking that they're both same. H1 and H2 should be equal to total work done by 2 into M1 into D2 into H2. As I said, right, what is M1? Number of people of same type, man, women, or kids, or anything, right? People working, whatever. Days is number of days, and H is number of hours per day. Whatever the things that they are not talking here, you need to ignore them and count them to be same. So let's say in the earlier question, in this question, they have not talked about, they said the same work, right? So that means total work 1 is same as total work 2. I am referring to same work. So they are same. So total work 1 by M1 into D1 into H1 is equals to total work 2 by M2 into D2 into H2. They also did not mention about the number of hours, right, worked by these people. So that means H1 should be taken as H2. So that will make this to get cancelled out, this to get cancelled out. So simply I cross multiply, I get M1 into D1 is equals to M2 into D2. Right? Looks like this is the same formula, right? Why am I even asked to look at all of this? Why isn't this better and direct one? It works for this case, but not for other cases, right? That's why I'm asking you to remember or stick to this. Then see how the information in the question is being given and process it according to that. Let's look at, right, questions. So let's look at this. 25 men can do a piece of work in 36 days working for 10 hours. Here I have given some information on hours. Then how many men are required to complete the same work? So it's the same work, that means total work 1 is same as total work 2, right? So number of people, 25 men. How many days? 36 days. How many hours are they working per day? That is 10 hours. What about how many men are required to complete? I need to find out this. They are working for 6 hours a day and they are working for 20 days, right? So total work 1 by 25 into 36 into 10 is equals to total work 2 by M2 into 6 into 20. That's the question, right? So 10 1s are 10 2s are 6 1s are 6 6 are 2 1s are 2 3s are. They get cancelled because they're same. So that will give me M2 as 25 into 3 75, right? That's why it's important to stick to this formula, right? Again, why am I focusing on total work? See, sometimes the question can get to this level. They say that if 25 men can do a piece of work in 36 days working for 10 hours a day, then how many men are required to complete double the work, right? Complete double the work working for 6 hours a day. Here the work is not same. Here the work is actually twice, or complete twice the work, right? Twice the work, double the work, whatever the wording they'll use. But understand that they'll give you a clue which is basically saying total work 1 into 2 is what total work 2 is. Because they are asking us to find out how many men are required to do not the same amount of work. Here it's the same amount work. I'm not denying that. But sometimes a question would talk about, right, more 50% more, double the work or something. Then you need to connect the total work 1 and 2, plug it here, and then you'll get a different answer. That's the reason why I'm asking you. I'll show an example for that. See this one. It says 20 workers working for 10 hours a day can build a wall of length, breadth and height in 50 days. In how many days 30 workers working for 5 hours a day can build a wall of length 600 meters, breadth and height? So what you need to understand, even though I don't see anything mentioning the total work, sometimes they'll give you question talking about length, breadth and height, or only length and breadth, or only height, or only length. Basically whatever they give, understand the total work is length into breadth into height. If let's say I'm not giving you this only length, take length only. If they're giving you 2 out of the 3, take 3, multiply them. That's what I'm meaning, right? Sometimes they don't give anything, they'll say the work is double of the work or anything. So just say total work 1 is so and so, 2 should be twice the 1. That's the point you need to understand. Here because they've given length into breadth into height, I'll apply that. So what is length? 100 into breadth is 50 into height is 10. What about the number of people? 20 people. How many days are they working? 50 days. How many hours are they working? 10 hours a day. What is the total work? 2. I need to build a wall of 600 meters into 20 meters into 5. You see this? This is not same as this. That's why I need to consider this. I cannot ignore the work and I cannot simply write M1, D1, H1 or something, right? What about M2? This is what I need to find, right? 30 workers. I need to find D2. How many days are they going to complete? And H2 is 5 hours a day. So what will the formula be? Total work 1 by M1 into D1 into H1, that's basically 10, sorry, equals to total work 2 is 60 into 20 into 5 by 30 is M2 into D2 into 5. Right, this is what I have. Let me cancel this. 10 cancel, 21s are 25s are, 31s are 30, 20s are 5 get cancelled out. Right, 5 1s are 5, 4s are. So simply D2 is nothing but 4 into 20, that is 80 days. You see this, if you ignore the total work and just apply M1 D1 H1 is equals to M2 D2 into H2, you will get a different answer. For that reason alone I am saying to stick to this formula. Never ever ignore this. Right? If they have not given information, like let's say they say same work, so they are equal, yes, I can cancel it out and then do M1 D1 H1 is equals to M2 D2 H2. If they have not given H1, I can take them to be equal, H1 and H2 hours per day, they are equal, and do M1 into D1 is equals to M2 into D2. But on a broader level, think the formula in this way. Total work by M1 into D1 into H1 should be equal to total work 2 by M2 into D2 into H2. If you go with this and just apply based on the information given, you will get all these questions solved in a simpler and faster manner.